Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. So now, let's start. First question is, which country is the largest producer of hydroxychloroquine, that is HCQ, accounting for nearly 70% of the annual global production? Right answer is India, that is our country. So India is the largest producer and exporter of HCQ. It is important to note that recently ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, had recommended HCQ to be used as a preventive medication for persons in high risk group of COVID-19. Now ICMR is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Recently, this ministry was in news as Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan launched Contact. It is National Teleconsultation Center and it will connect doctors in entire country with AIMS. AIMS stands for All India Institute of Medical Science. Now ICMR was also in news as recently it approved plasma therapy for this COVID-19. Next question is, which national park in India has set up the country's first quarantine facility for animals? Right answer is Jim Corbett National Park. So this national park is in Uttarakhand and recently it became the India's first quarantine facility for animals. Recently, a tiger in Bronx Zoo in USA tested positive for COVID-19. So this zoo is in USA. So keeping that in mind, this Jim Corbett National Park decided to set up the quarantine facility for animals. Now Uttarakhand was also in news as recently it became the first state in our country where the government has made a land leasing policy for agricultural land. Uttarakhand was also in news as India's first glass suspension bridge is going to be in Uttarakhand in Rishikesh. Recently, Rishikesh was in news as AIMS Rishikesh has partnered with BEL, that is Bharat Electronics Limited, to set up India's first remote health monitoring system. And this system will be used in Uttarakhand to monitor the COVID-19 patients. Uttarakhand was also in news as recently state government started Urjagiri campaign to prevent the power theft. Next question is, M.S. Mahabaleshwara has been reappointed as the MD and CEO of which bank for 3 more years? Right answer is Karnataka Bank. So recently RBI approved this reappointment. Apart from this, RBI also approved reappointment of P. Jairam as non-executive chairperson. In addition to that, recently Virupaksha Mishra became the new executive director of Union Bank of India. Next question is, which global organization has released a report titled South Asia Economic Focus, in which this report has estimated that India's growth rate is going to be between 1.5% to 2.8%. So this report is by World Bank, and as per that report, India's growth rate is going to be between 1.5% to 2.8%, and this will be the worst economic phase since liberalization policies were implemented in 1991. Now, if we talk about World Bank, recently the chief economist of World Bank, P.K. Goldberg, resigned. World Bank is headed by Mr. David Malpass. World Bank and IMF are popularly known as Bretton Woods institutions. Recently, IMF was in news as IMF has named former RBI Governor Mr. Raghuram Rajan and 11 others for an advisory group for IMF MD Kristalina Georgieva. The chief economist of IMF is Geeta Gopinath. Next question is, Apple has recently partnered with which company to develop a technology solution for contact tracing activity? So for this, Apple and Google collaborated so that they can help the government and health agencies to curb the spread of this coronavirus. And the system of these two companies will use Bluetooth technology and it will help in the identification of people who are in contact with an infected person. Now, if we talk about Google, recently Google was in news as it launched new app named Tangi. Google was also in news as recently it announced skill development program in our country, and the name of this program is DZ Pivot. Google was also in news as recently Google Cloud announced a cloud region in Delhi. This one is going to be the second cloud region in our country. The first one is in Mumbai. Next question is, Yukti that is Young India Combating COVID-19 with Knowledge, Technology and Innovation. So this Yukti portal is an initiative of which union ministry? It is an initiative of MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development. Present MHRD Minister is Mr. Ramesh Nishank. So the main aim of this portal is to act as a two-way communication between institution and industry. So it will act as a platform for the institutions to share their knowledge about challenges faced in encountering the COVID-19. Now MHRD was also in news because of one more initiative. Recently, MHRD launched Bharat Padhe Online initiative for crowdsourcing of ideas to improve the online education ecosystem in our country. Apart from that, MHRD was also in news because of SWAM portal. SWAM stands for Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. And recently SWAM was in news because the access to this SWAM platform has tripled since the lockdown was announced. So the SWAM platform is an initiative of MHRD, and MHRD has collaborated with IIT Madras and with Google as well as with NPTEL for this SWAM initiative. Next question is, which multilateral funding agency has tripled its COVID-19 response package initially announced for its developing member countries to $20 billion? Right answer is Asian Development Bank. So recently, Asian Development Bank has tripled the COVID-19 response package. Last month, the bank had announced $6.5 billion package for 31 DMC. DMC stands for Developing Member Countries. Now, Asian Development Bank was also in news because of Asian Development Outlook report. Next question is, as per a recent survey released by National Council for Applied Economic Research, income of about 85% of households in which state or union territory have been impacted by COVID-19. Right answer is Delhi NCR. So as per the survey by this NCAER, income of about 85% of households in NCR, that is National Capital Region, have been impacted by this COVID-19 and the subsequent lockdown because of this virus. Now, NCAER is a New Delhi based think tank. If we talk about Delhi, recently Delhi was in news because of Operation Shield, and this is to curb the spread of COVID-19 in the national capital. Delhi was also in news because of 5T plan to combat this coronavirus. Now, if we talk about few other operations which were in news recently, Operation Sanjeevani was in news. It was an operation of IAF, that is Indian Air Force, to provide essential medicine to Maldives. Recently, Maldives was in news as it became a member of IORA, that is Indian Ocean Rim Association. Apart from that, it recently rejoined Commonwealth. Now coming back to operations, in addition to that, Operation Namaste was in news. Operation Namaste is an operation of Indian Army to combat COVID-19. Answer in comment box what is Operation Greens and which ministry is the nodal authority for this operation. Next question is, a new initiative titled Food Bank has been launched in which Indian state to provide free food to the poor and needy in this lockdown? Right answer is Manipur. So this Food Bank initiative is an initiative of Manipur to provide food to the needy during this lockdown period. Next question is, the central bank of which country has become one of the investors with more than 1% stake in SDFC, that is Housing Development Finance Corporation Limited. So the Central Bank of China, that is PBOC, that is People's Bank of China, had joined the group of investors with more than 1% stake in SDFC. People's Bank of China now holds 1.01% stakes in SDFC. Now China was also in news because of this coronavirus, as the outbreak of this virus started from Wuhan in China. China was also in news because of Power of Siberia, as it is the gas pipeline between Russia and China. Apart from that, China was also in news because of Lifeline Udan. It is an initiative of Ministry of Civil Aviation, and recently it was in news that Air India will operate regular cargo flights between India and China to transport critical medical equipments, and this will be done under this Lifeline Udan initiative. So Air India will establish a cargo air bridge for this, and this will be with China. Next question is the UNIDO, that is United Nations Industrial Development Organization, has signed an agreement with which Indian non-profit organization to empower consumers during this coronavirus pandemic? Right answer is CUTS International. So UNIDO and CUTS International has collaborated to empower consumers during this coronavirus pandemic. So this CUTS International is a consumer unity and trust society, and it is based in Rajasthan, and it was established in 1983. So UNIDO and CUTS have planned to develop a BRICS e-commerce project, which was implemented as a pilot project by UNIDO in the BRICS countries. Now, if we talk about UNIDO, the headquarters is in Vienna in Austria. The headquarters of OPEC is also in Vienna in Austria. OPEC stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and recently in 2020, Ecuador left OPEC. Answer in comment box whether USA is a member of OPEC or not. Now, Vienna is also the headquarters of IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency. Next question is, what was the profession of Tim Brooke Taylor, a British personality who passed away recently? Right answer is actor. So he was actor and he passed away recently after this coronavirus infection. Next question is, which technological company has launched a Braille keyboard called TalkBack for assisting the visually challenged users? Right answer is Google. So this has been launched by Google for assisting the visually challenged users. Now recently, RBI launched Money app to help visually challenged person to identify currency notes. RBI is Reserve Bank of India. The present RBI governor is Shaktikant Das, and recently he was named as the Banker of Year for Asia Pacific region. So these were the important questions for mobile optimized ebooks. You can install GKToday Academy app, and for regular updates you can join our Telegram channel. This is the name of Telegram channel, GKToday YouTube. You can directly join it by name, or you can use this link. The link is given in description box. Thank you, and that's all for the day.